Welcome back, Salty Gamers, to week 25 of the Galactic Legend Ray playthrough of Swigo. Free to play, and now let's get into it. So today I'll review the roster as usual, and I'll go through my take on what mods are and what you could do with them. My opinions on good mods and bad mods from other players that I could see. I'm not naming any names of the players for the good mods or bad mods, just a sample each, and I'll show my own mods and where I would make improvements on my own roster and rosters that I'm looking at with the mods. So let's get into it. We've got the Datacron calendar, but we'll use it because we don't have enough relics yet. So first things first, we'll have a wee look at the roster. So farmer gear, we're sitting at almost enough parts to get BB-8 to gear 12, so let's just do the challenges and that should bring us up thereabouts. We need 60. We've got 44, so we need 16 more for that. Let's see if we could just get something out just to finish them off. So we need 760 guild activity currency. Do we have that? No. Okay, so I'll just leave it till we have enough currency to buy them, so we don't waste all our energy. So that's that for BB-8. So as far as the journey guide's concerned, we're well on our way. R2 isn't getting any of that gear because it's the same as BB-8. So we're almost. So I put what gear we've got on for Finn at the moment for gear 12 and Ray, because there's two pilots, and then put the next bit of stuff on Poe, just because again he's a pilot, so sort of know that when we put it on Jedi Training Ray and Chewie, that's done as far as that's concerned. Zori could actually, no, she's not able to go up a level. So yeah, we're doing not too bad here. We're just picking away at this because we've not progressed the fleet enough to farm it actively, and we're using all our energy on getting our ships up. Once our ships are up, we'll then focus all our stuff on getting these gear, the gear pieces. Speaking of ships, we're almost at 6 stars with Ray and Poe. We've hit the 5th star with Ebonhawk and Houndstooth. We're pushing the 7th star with Lando's Millennium Falcon. So we're definitely getting the next tier of Raddus, the next 10 shards of Raddus when it rolls around this week. And then we should hopefully be pushing, if I could really push it, hopefully we'll get 6 stars with these all 4 of these ships, but I highly doubt it. But I'll be happy enough if we get these 6 stars, and then these are just trailing behind. Then we've got double XP before the next one, so we might be able to get 6 stars and then 7 stars right at the back of it. If not, maybe 6 stars and then wait. What we're using here, Carbante, so we'll just bring up Boss to gear 10 and then gear 11, so he's ready to go as soon as we 7 star him, so he's strong enough to pilot them out. At the moment we've got Lando at gear 10, and then we've got Karth at gear 10, L3 is at gear 9. And Django, he'll get used eventually. T3 is not used, and then are just normal stuff. So I made some new tabs, cleaned them up a bit because it was getting rather messy. So I watched Dark Lockwater's video on when to go for Ray or something along the lines, and he gave some team compositions that you would use for the journey and when you do it. So I've put them in there to have a look and see how they work. So we'll swap around. When we start farming these characters, we'll swap around Finn's team to have this team here. Sorry, Zori's team to utilise these characters, and then Jedi Training Ray now offense is just for JSE, but we're basically there for this team minus Resistance Trooper, which we'll bring up, and then we've got the Dead Weight, which don't really have a place, minus ships, which are these four, and then possible Galactic Legend Ray team. I've thrown in Ahsoka Fulcrum, but utilising 2 of the Dead Weight and then Barriss Offee from the characters that we've got. So future farms, once we've done what we can there on the farming of the ships, we'll start moving on to finish off our Geo team. We're really getting close to going into Geonosian territory battles, so we need to I need to get this team up and running, ready to go. And we're getting Carthonasi, so we'll be as well. And I passively farmed HK, probably thinking of this when I looked at the squad arena stuff. But Darth Revan requirements, this is all them, so we could go for Darth Revan as a future farm, because we've got Carth, so why not utilise him for what he's needed for, and we'll probably take them up to gear 12 as a minimum. And then if we're going for Darth Revan, we'll be as well going for Jedi Knight Revan. So we'll get Bastila and Jolee, we'll get Mission and Zalbar, and we'll already have T3 up and running. That will utilise them. Love them or hate them, we're going to need Inquisitors. By the summer, Grand Inquisitor will be farmable. His journey will be available at all times, therefore we'll get these up and get Grand Inquisitor. My cat's climbing up my leg now. So we'll go for Grand Inquisitor. Then still on with the Starkiller requirements, we're almost there with Mara Jade. Easy enough to farm the other 3, and then we'll get that one on the way. Same with Aphra. Hondo and Sana shouldn't be too bad, and then 000 BT1 will be a bit of a pain, just because they're single drop hard nodes. And CLS, this isn't in priority either, that doesn't mean that will go in this order, just wants to farm. So CLS will finish off this farm. I don't know why I've got Akbar in there, but it was a mistake click, that's meant to be R2. So we'll fire on that, and then we'll go for CLS, and then we'll make his team from there. Then the clone troopers, just because they're pretty strong throughout, and then we can move them from the 501st being with Shaq to being with General Anakin Skywalker as a sort of side big farm, because I don't know if I want to rush straight into another Galactic Legend after we finish Rey, or if we'll make more teams up. So that's my thought there, probably not go straight into a Legend, just build up other things in the meantime. My second GL, I think what I might do is potentially go for Jabba the Hutt, especially with this raid, see what that's all about. Therefore, I'll start picking out the requirements for Jabba the Hutt. Not necessarily just rush for them, but because he needs during night look, so it'll take a while. But I'll form a team for the requirements and just pick away at them, ready for when we get to that point. Because again, I'm not going to rush into the second GL, because this one will leave the roster sort of lacking in areas where we'll start picking up as soon as we've got all the requirements ready with these other teams. So this is sort of my baseline Hut Cartel team that we'll do in farm. So all this farming, we need to make sure that we have teams for. Some of them already set into teams, like the requirements for Grand Inquisitor. They sort of easy set. Same with this Shaak-Ti clones, but the other teams don't. So we'll need a Malak team to utilise. If we go for Malak with the 2 Revans, would be as well. We need to utilise Darth Revan with Bastila, HK just because we'll have him, Darth Malak and Sith Marauder because he's an easy farm for an Old Republic team. We could change that out if we get Traya and stuff like that, depending on what's available at the time. Because we're going for T3, we'll go for Beskar Mando as well as in Quail, and we'll have Hondo, so we'll do Droid Scoundrels potentially. This is a potential team here. And Sanar's Rebels to utilise the Stormtrooper Han, Princess Leia from CLS requirements, Cara Dune for Beskar Mando, Lando just because he fits in there, easy farm, and Sana Stars, plus he goes into the Jedi Master Luke journey as well, so ticks off there. Moving down then, Wedge, Biggs, I think Kyle Katarn and Mon Mothma are, at least Mon Mothma, Wedge and Biggs are part of the Jedi Master Luke journey, and Kyle Katarn Starkiller and CLS for Farmboy Luke. So this will utilise a lot of requirements from other journeys, and I'm hoping should be a pretty solid team, and then we can just filter out Luke where needed. Mandalorians. The reason I'm looking at a Mandalorian team as because we, with the pit raid, not the pit raid, the new Crate Dragon raid, they're going to be one of the key teams for the raid. So so it's Old Republic, Tuskens, Mandos and Hut Cartel. So doing this farming planet will give us put us in good stead for doing this raid, because it should be one raid for all. So that's the idea there, why we build this up. Bo-Katan gets farmed up when we do Jolee. Canderous is needed for Revan. We're going for Beskar Mando anyway, because he'll be needed for the Executor at some point, and just good journey anyway. We'll have the requirements for building up. Gar Saxon, just because he fits in the Mandalorian category, and he's an easy farm because he's in the Cantina. No real other reason other than that. So we'll go for Dash Scoundrels to utilise L3 and Young Lando, and our Dash Rendar from the Starkiller journey. So we need 2 more places. Looking into Young Han and Vandor Chewie should be the better of the ones that we could use at the moment. And this isn't a hard and fast team, it's just initial thoughts. So that will utilise all our farming that we're doing and we'll build teams out of. And if you think about it from the standpoint of GAC, they might not be the best teams, but there'll be some teams that we could throw in whenever we make it into bronzing, where we start needing more teams. So that's the thoughts there. Credit Heist will be built up as well of teams that we're currently utilising. Probably not IG88, but Cad Bane will go in there or something like that. So that's the thoughts there. In terms of farming, we need to bring, we've brought Karth up, we'll bring these up to gear 11, Bosk's already done. Unless he gets them started, he'll get gear 12. And then these will stay at gear 2 star until we could get the ships finished. Same with Tusken, still picking away at Tusken Shaman, and Tusken Raiders just passively getting picked out. We'll do a bit of work on them as soon as one of the... So Tusken Warriors went into the Cantina, so he'll be an easy farm. Quite a low node as well in 2D, so even though he's a 1 shard drop, he should be relatively quick, so go for him. And then once one of the hard nodes are done for the ships, we'll start farming Chieftain and try and try and get them finished up, so we get a 7-star Tusken team on the go. And then that's our hunters down the bottom that we need to use. Now I'm going to have to gear hunters possibly before Tuskens, depending on how things goes, because it could ease off our farming on Holdo, so it might divert gear into the hunters from time to time just to bring them up. So just check the shipments, see what we can get. We're relatively okay for crystals. Credits, we got a credit heist just at the end of the week there, so that was good. Got a nice cash influx. So brought Karth up to 7 stars. I think we're almost close to it. Yep. 4 more times for 5. So in terms of this shop, we'll do Jawas eventually, but we'll get go from 5s and then into Mob Enforcer, and then Stormtrooper, because Mob Enforcer is a Hut Cartel requirement. Just because we're always farming something out the shop. In here then, if we could pick up Shaman, we pick up Shaman. Shaman's prioritised over the likes of Rex, and then Rex is prioritised over other characters in here. Squad Arena, we're sort of still, I'm keeping it around 600, so we can start picking up some Greedo shards to utilise him. And we don't really need gear out of here just now, but if there is any, we use it. Fleet Arena, we're just picking, we're not buying Zetas yet, unless maybe I'm one off. We're just still picking up ships where we can. So Rex turns up here from time to time, and then I'll start picking up Ahsoka, because she could also be used in an unaligned Force user team. And that's sort of all we're picking up in Fleet Arena. Guild events don't really have much currency at the moment. We'll get a big influx soon, but we have enough for Carbantes, so we'll buy some Carbantes. Nothing really to buy out of here now. Just keep this currency till GAC starts on Monday. 2 shards of Karth. This is slowly starting to get more and more currency, so we'll start picking out our gear 12 stuff in here from what we can. But most of this stuff needs to be farmed in Fleet. So for example, this keypad, we only need 5 of them, but it's in Fleet. So Spear, once I've done the farming for the ships in Fleet, I then move on and use it to build up whatever gear to get the next character to Relic. So just for today, I'm going to focus, because Poe's almost finished, so I'm going to put my first lot of fleet energy into Poe's ship just to try and get him to 6 stars before heading back into farming Lando's Millennium, which we're at 16%. And the same with, even though Bosk's just done to 5 stars, his ship, I'll prioritise Raise 1 instead, just because it's almost at that 6-star mark, just to get me that edge when it comes to the battles. So that's the plan there. So let's get into the mod side, because it will take some time to get through it. Hopefully be about 20 minutes to half an hour talking about modding and what's my thoughts on do's and don'ts with it, and what to farm, how much prioritization that you need for it, and sort of the resources and tools that you could use to aid you in modding, and how, because you could really go in depth and be really, like what we could call a mod snob, where you only accept particular mods and take ages to mod characters because you only want the best, which is totally fine. Or you can put okay mods on and then upgrade at a later date. So we'll go through all that. So to do that, we'll go firstly into the modding screen, the modding activities. So we've got mod challenges and mod battles. Now this will be like sucking eggs to a lot of people that's potentially watching this video, but if I get anything wrong, if there's a better way of doing things, or if you've seen other information out there, let me know down in the comments. The resources I use for my Host We Go journey are similar to what you guys will use, in the sense of the bigger YouTubers of Arnold, Darth Lockwater, Songita, Gerbo, as well as Star Wars Dad and AP Games from time to time. So check them out as well. My thoughts are, don't just back one person's thoughts on the game. There's so many avenues you could go down. There's not one size fits all. So have a look at all the ones out there that you could find and see what works for you. That being said, you get unlock mods at level 50 and you have to work through all these mod battles. So as you work through them, you might have to put some of these rubbish mods in to your characters as you go, but as soon as you get the mod challenges, which we'll come on to, unlock, sell all these 2.1 and 2. Mods. These are literally just credit farms in early game. Until you get to mod battle 9, just jumped out that there. Until you get to mod battle 9, which this is out of the mod battles, this is the only stage that you farm, and this is where you get all your slicing materials for taking them up past 5 dots and changing the colour of each of your mods. So I just cleared this yesterday, just so it's all maxed out now for farming our slicing mats on the double drops. So just build a cache of these up. Maybe at the weekend I'll come on to how I farm, or circle onto here. So mod challenges then, this is where you get your good mods. Now I have a few accounts and I've tried several things, and my first account, I thought, like a lot of people, that speed mods, the only way to get speed on a character was with a speed set. So I thought, oh, well, all the other characters will be slow because I'm being recommended to do crit chance and crit damage, not understanding that there's primary and secondary stats. So yes, the game tells you, but it doesn't go into much detail. Some YouTubers will tell you need the character to be fast and get speed mods on, and then if you don't realise that they're actually talking about secondary stats, then you'll fall into the same trap I did and start thinking that you must put loads of these type of mods on. which is just not the case. So we've got the ones I found is health on a Monday, defense on a Tuesday, then a skip crit damage, which I'll come to in a second, crit chance Wednesday, a skip tenacity, I go for offense on a Thursday, skip potency, and go for speed on a Friday, and then on a Saturday I either do some slicing or I do potency or tenacity, depending on what we need. Or if I'm modding a specific character, I farm what I'm lacking on that character. The reasoning for not doing crit damage is because this is sort of, I watched our Clockwater's videos, I've spoken about this before. Offense works all of the time, crit damage only works when you're critting. You can't crit, you don't get the use of that 4-stack mod. Therefore, I go for offense. Anytime I'm recommended to do crit damage, I go for offense and then build crit damage, try to build as much crit damage secondary stats in as possible for the characters. And that way I get as close to the best of both worlds as I can. So that when you go on one of these challenges, just again sucking eggs, you've got health tier 1, 2 and 3. This is the same for each category. Now just because I don't do crit damage does not mean that you don't. There's plenty of people that are in Kyber 1 far more experienced than me that use crit damage, so it's not that you should never use it, just that's my thoughts on it, and I agree with how Darth Lockwood put it across, and that's why I do it that way. So 3-star, 4-star, 3 dot and 4 dot mods, and then 5 dot mods. So 5 dot mods are the ones that you use, nothing else. As soon as you unlock this one, do this one every time you've got to do it for your dailies. If you just unlocked them, leave these ones and sell everything 4 dot. That's the idea there. So self-explanatory, going through the challenges, you'll get it through the game anyway. I don't want to go too much into that. So we'll go into my own mod in here. So we'll use this team since we've got gear 12s in it as well. So we look at Jedi training right here, and then you see we've got mods and they're all level 15, which is this number down the bottom or to the side of each of these mods. And then this creates a set bonus, and when it's gold it means that they're level 15. Now sometimes if you skip over what the game's telling you, you'll miss this, and it'll become apparent that people miss this quite frequently. When I look at the modding shots that I've got, rule of thumb, doesn't matter what you're putting, what type of mods you're putting. If you're putting, you want to fire all health, all tenacity, crit damage, offense, speed, whatever, doesn't matter, as long as you do sets. So you've got 6 slots to fill. You should fill every single slot with something, but make sure they match. Make sure if it's a 4 set, so if we go to something like BB-8 here, so he was getting speed, so the speed set is 4 pieces, so we need a 2 set to fill in the other 2. The last thing you want to do is put random rubbish in here like crit chance or potency, and then health in one, because that won't do much good. You'll miss out on a lot of bonuses, as well as you don't want to put extra speed mods in because it's not going to do anything either. It'll just work the same. So 4 set and a 2 set, or 3 2 sets. That's your ideal setup. Doesn't matter what you're doing. That's your ideal. Alright, so as far as I'm aware, square mods only ever have the primary stat of offense. Diamond mods only ever have the stat of defense, and then below it are all your secondary stats. So if you notice a common theme here on each of these mods, they have a golden speed line here. This is what people mean when they say speed mods. Not the set, but mods with good speed on them. Now this mod's rubbish for speed because it's had no rolls and it's only 3, but it's the best that I've got for this lot at the moment. It's got protection, so it keeps BB-8 alive, so it's not horrible, but I could do with it a wee bit faster. But depending on how it works within certain teams, you might not want them that fast, so you might have to tune down speed on some mods. It just depends how in depth you look at it in terms of getting the turn order right on teams. So we've got offense with a speed roll of, so it's a speed mod which you know by the running person on the square, as well as your Mark 5, which is your 5 dots along the top. It's C for the blue style mod, and then speed transmitter to tell you that's your set bonus type. Top right of that screen you've got your set bonus, and in the brackets you'll have a number. It says 4, therefore I need 4 of this set to make a bonus, and because it's level 15 you get 10%, so that's 10% extra speed after all your secondary speeds added in and your base speed of your character. You get 10% above on that. So it's had the bracket next to this 9 speed here is 2 rolls of speed, 2 rolls of protection percentage, and then 1 roll of normal protection, flat protection that would be called, and then 1 roll of defense. And that's how your stats are broken down. So ideally you want to, if you're chasing speed mods, you want to chase as many rolls as possible, which is identified by this bracketed number. Speed, so arrows are the only ones that get a speed primary, which is usually 30 speed, as seen by my Geo's crit damage arrow here. So that's your ideal arrow you want to put in, is your 30 speed arrow. But if you can't put a speed arrow in, put something in with speed on it, and then filter it out when you get it, because they are quite RNG based. Triangle has 4 speed, and then my really fast one, I don't think it's on this character, I'll check it later. So a lot of speed on these characters as well, so you can get a good speed roll even with being a blue mod. It's got 3 rolls of speed, which gives us a grand total of 238 speed on BB-8. If we go to sort here, you can sort by anything. So if we look at speed, so minus arrows, the fastest mod after the arrows is the triangle, offense triangle on Ray, which has 19 speed on it. So that's how to check for speed. Now we'll go into filters. So I have a lot of filters here, and this is because I watched Gerbil's video and Darth Lockwitter's video on how to sort of manage your mods, and they introduce filters into it so you can break it down and you can actually save your filters so it's easier, and you tailor it to suit what you want to do. Maybe you want to level all your grey and green mods, that's totally fine. It all depends on the stage of the game that you're at. So I pulled, between the 2 videos, I pulled as much information as I could to tailor it to myself. So the first thing, when I'm organising my mods, the first thing that I'll do, well, if I go to manage mods here, I've got 85 mods. If I go to filter and then only unassigned, and then manage mods, we have 79 mods that's unassigned. So that's the first thing. That's how to check that for mods that's not on any characters. So the first thing I'll do here is check if we've got any speed mods, speed arrow mods. And I see here that I've got crit chance mod, arrow mod, lock it down. This is why these grey mods are locked down, and this is why it's first. So we keep all our speed mods available at all times. So we could have speed mods on speed arrows, sorry, on all characters. Then I go into grey and greens. Now sometimes I'll check through the greens just to see if any of them have got a primary, a secondary of speed, but 9 times out of 10 they don't tend to. And I'm not at a stage on the account where I can mess about and upgrade these all the time, just for the amount of credits. At this stage, therefore, I just go straight into manage, select all, and then sell them. Gives me 522,000. So it gives you a wee bit. If you do this every couple of weeks, you can make a fair amount of credits back. The next thing is blue to level. So these are all mods that don't have all their primary secondary stats shown that are blue. So we do upgrade and then reveal all secondary stats. So here, and then upgrade all. So now we can see what we're looking at. Going into the next filter, we go purple to level. And we do the same, select all, upgrade, reveal all secondary, and then we know what we've got here. Then we go into purple, no speed. So these are all the mods with no speed on them, and then we sell them. Blue with no speed, this means that they've not had any speed rolls at all, and we could sell them. Now if you're currently modding a specific character and you're ready to use a team, which we'll come on to later, you won't necessarily want to sell everything that doesn't have speed, because it might have the right primary stat for you at the moment, which I'll come on to soon. So blue with speed, so these are with should be all the ones with speed. Now I might have messed up this filter, let me just double check. So yeah, so I'm also looking for everything that's at least level 9. So I'll go back to blue to level, select all, upgrade to level 9. And then we go back down to blue with speed. So we've got 2 rolls and 2 rolls, so they could be locked because they've got a potential. But they've got 2 rolls, but it's 7 and 8, so they're plus 5, so they're more than 5. So definitely lock them down, and then they could potentially get sliced up to get more rolls and speed. So we'll check the speed mods. So we could lock anything. I lock anything that's over 5 speed, 5 or above for the first mod. So unlock this one. Sometimes you might want to lock in even 3 speed depending on what the mod is. So we know all them are, and then we'll just sell what we don't want. Now gold to level. So you still get gold mods. So you select all, upgrade, and then I upgrade them to 6 first. And what we're looking for is how many rolls of speed do we get. Take them up to 12. So no rolls of speed, but it's at least 5. So we'll lock it. Only because we don't have too many like this just now. So this would work well with Bossk. It's got 5 rolls of potency though, so it's not the best mod, or an offensive tank, because there's a lot of protection and potency and stuff, so it has potential but not right now. So looking here, this has got 3 rolls of speed. I will take that one to max. So this is to level for speed, which is what we're doing. So we'll select all and we'll upgrade to 12. And then go back into our filter for speed. Have a look here. So we've got 10 speed now, 8 speed, 7. That one's still 5, but it's a protection one. And then we've got 5, 5. So these are all good. So what I could do now is select all and then upgrade and take them right up to 15. So now these are all maxed out mods. They won't get sold, they're all locked down, and we could slice them. Arrows to sell. For some reason it's set to thought you could take that speed off, but that's fine. So you've already locked down your speed, so you just sell everything else that's not speed. And then no speed roll. So these are the lower speed, but they're +5, so they're the ones that are high level, but they have no speed rolls on them, so they're sitting at like base speed with one in the bracket. They're not ideal, but they're only blue, so we could keep them, slice them up to purple, see what they go. If they go to 7 or 8 speed, you know, get a roll of speed, then happy days. And that's how I work my filters. So now if I go to reset to default and then only unassigned, and then sort by speed, everything apart from arrows, we've got this mod as the highest. Now these are all 5-dot mods, this is a 6-dot mod, so it's slightly different. So when you come in here, this is all the materials that you need to slice it up. If we go to find where you get these, you get them in 9E in the modern battles. Now you can calibrate. Now we've got 16, and you can only calibrate. It says here, one slice from the selected start will be removed, a new slice will randomly applied. One of the 4 available secondary stats. So if I go here, it says the last slice of the secondary stat can't be removed for calibration. Please select a secondary stat with at least 2 slices. So this is a defense set. So defense is what we want. We don't really need crit chance necessarily. So out of all these stats, that's probably the best one to calibrate. So calibrate it, and we get a defense roll, and it goes up to 12%. So do we want to keep it? Yeah, we'll keep the changes. So now we've moved 1 roll from our crit chance into our defense. Now that could have changed. It could have went to 3 rolls into speed, and then that could have potentially went up to 10 or 11 speed. So that's how slicing works, or recalibration works. I think blue no speed. So these are blue no speed. We'll just select all and sell. Again, just making sure that we're down to Purple with no speed, no. So now we're sitting right. And we only spent just shy of 1,000,000 credits after all that. And we went through 80 plus mods to see what was what with the roster. So that's how I filter through the mods. It might not be the most promising way, it might not be the most efficient way, but so far it's working for me. Just to look at so then you can go to your characters and see who, for example, is got the most health. So Resistance Pilot, no surprise there, has the most health. They are the only one that's relict. If we go to speed, BB-8's the fastest. BB-8 with 238 speed. Now that doesn't mean that it's good speed. It's, you know, it could maybe be faster, but it's good for where he's at now. I could slice these mods up, but because they're only, I'll slice this one now because it's at 5 speed. Let me just see if there's any more potential. So this one here, I'll do this one instead, so the cross. So to show you the slice, we'll go there, and we've got defense. But that's okay, because we've got 10 speed already. Ideally what we would want to do here, when we get to calibrate it, is we would calibrate the defense on this one, because it's not a stat she really needs, and we could potentially get more speed on the roll. We'll just do the same on this one, slice up to 6 dot, so we get +1 speed just before we're going up to 6 dot, and then I'll show you the change to, I'll possibly change to the next tier of 6 dot. We've only got 2, so we don't get a lot of the materials, so that's why I use them on double drops to farm up your materials for slicing up to max mods. So that is my mods. They're around average in my opinion. Some really good mods, some terrible mods that I'm still using. The only other part of the filter I would do, I don't have it set up because I just do it anyway, is you could set up a filter where you do mark 1 to 4 filter, and then that would show anything below 5 dots, and then you could just sell. So bear with me now whilst I switch over to the other screen. And we've already run over, so that's fine. So we're back here, and then we'll bring up this. So this is an example of modding gone wrong. So this is a person's Vader. Abilities on the left, totally fine. Level fine, not 7 stars yet, but that's fine. Clearly working on a character. But looking at the mods, we have 2 speed, 1 tenacity, 1 potency, 1 crit chance, 1 defense. So all over the place. One's leveled, some are sort of leveled to show stats, but they're not doing very much at all. So if I was looking at this character on a roster review, or just even in GAC, you would think that they're maybe storing mods if they had too much mods on this character, and not really utilising the character. Now however it's Darth Vader, so it's not really a character to do that on. So what to do there to fix this is take all the mods off, or apart from maybe the potency mod, but before they go take the mods off, we come into swigo.gg, we go into the units and type in Darth Vader. It will bring up all these attributes, these potential attributes. We go into best mods. Now you could choose if you want to do top 100 gills, carbonite, bronzium, chromium, iridium or kyber. I just go with kyber because therefore I just keep the same mod sets throughout and just replace them with better ones. So what they're saying here is the top mod set to use in kyber for Vader is offense and potency. So that's a 2-piece potency set, a 4-piece offense set. We want the triangle to be crit damage, we want the cross to be potency, we want the circle to be protection, and a speed arrow, which is usually standard. So looking at that, not guilds, just go back. I'll show you one of my other accounts. I'll go into my Darth Vader. So I'm doing offense and potency with the speed arrow. So this gives you the breakdown of exactly what mods you're using and what they give you. So we remember the two sets were offense and potency. We've got a potency, so we've got potency cross, crit damage, triangle. We've got a speed arrow, we've got our square and our diamond, and then we've got a protection cross. So all these mods are exactly how they would recommend. Does that mean that they're the best mods out there? No, definitely not. The speed mod is pretty good, but we could maybe tweak that to give us more potency in here or offense. But we've got 32, we've got speed. Same with these. So this is where you break down your secondary stats to maybe get more speed. So I won't necessarily take these to 6 dots unless I don't get anything better. But that's how you look at that. This square one I'll take to 6 dots because it's got 13 speed on it, and I'll take that to 6 dots, and I'll probably bring the. So I won't. I need to change the potency mod, but I'm lacking on the potency mods at the moment. With protection, so I would switch that out. But do I need to just put a potency circle here? Not really. If I get a fast roll potency diamond and a fast roll offense circle with the protection stat, then I would switch them around and go there, make them faster. So stats wise, he's only sitting at 210 speed, so he's really lacking on speed. So he's not doing so great on mods. I'm currently reorganising all the mods on that character. So that's how to do that. That's ciswigo.gg side of things. I'll just run through some more mods. So Qui-Gon here, again, exact same as before. Looks like he's just holding mods on him, which is fine if that's what you need to do. But ideally, if you're going to, I would sell all these mods, because probably, unless they've got speed on them, they're probably not doing them very well. Now, this is all the same person's roster at the moment. So that's 2 not so great mods. Be as well selling them all, or selling most, or removing them and rejigging them to other places. Whereas Geo Soldier here, that's different. He's got exactly what he needs. If he's doing crit damage and crit chance, that's fine. As I said, it's up to the individual what they use. It's totally fine. However, the main thing is they've leveled all them and they've got the 2 sets. Sorry, wrong. No, they haven't. So they made a mistake here. So they're doing the right thing, but they need one more mod in here, which they need to put a crit damage mod in. if that's the set that they're doing, because they put 3 crit chance and 3 crit damage, so we're missing out on a crit damage bonus because they've not put the correct mods in. Now I suspect this person's potentially using the advanced filter, so if we go back here, go into our mods, you could go into your mod set and then do advanced, and it will tell you crit damage and potency, and if it gives you a red dot, it'll say, it's basically telling you you can auto assign. Now if I auto assign, it would include all the mods that I could assign. It's just telling me to enhance this mod, so it's telling me to level it up. I'm not going to do that, I'll make my own judgment on that. So let's see if I can find a character that doesn't have a mod on it to show you the assign feature. So Thrawn, he's level enough for mods, so we go to advanced, and see here when we go to advanced, this is what the game's recommending, and this is the set. This has 4 slots that an auto assign can do, so it's telling me that it would use 2 crit chance and the 2 speed mods here for him. I'm not going to do it because then I'll waste credits, but basically that will fire the 4 mods into this slot, and it will remove anything that's already in these slots and put the ones in. Now that might be ideal mods for them, but it might not be. It might just be choosing anything. So avoid the auto assign feature where possible. Moving on then, Ezra. Ezra's another one where the mods are all over the place, but this crit damage was a circle. Okay, moved on to his soldier, and that will finish up his soldier. So, but take care and attention to your mods will save you making mistakes like this. This is his spy. This is ideally what you want. I don't know, I'm not looking at his secondary and primary stats or anything, just purely at a base perspective. He's got the right sets in the right places. He's got 4 crit damage, he's got 2 crit chance, exactly what you need. Zeb, there's more crit damage mods, he's got health mods which is fine, but he's got more 2 crit damage mods that they could put on somebody else that needs crit damage. Nute Gunray, perfect. We got his force 4 and 2, and then we come to Jango Fett. Now he's put crit damage on, crit chance, but he's got a 6 dot tenacity mod that's doing nothing. So ideally he wants to get rid of that off the character, maybe save it and move it on to somebody else. So that's the advice there for day ones. Moving on to the next roster I looked at. This is good mods, a lot better than my mods from what I've looked at. So this Fives is Relic 6, and he's got 6 dot mods throughout, all health, probably exactly what's recommended. So that's exactly what you want. And there's another example of some good mods. He's probably working on 6 dot on them at the moment. The character's gear 12, which you have to be gear 12 to 6 dot mods. So he's slowly working through them, or maybe they've just not got the stats that he wants to push to 6 dots, so he's only done the ones that he wants to, which is totally fine. It doesn't stop you getting the set bonus or the increase in stats, but if you don't have the full set to 6 dots. So that's ideal what you want in terms of doing modding. I'll have a look, show you some more mods, because I've just overhauled this account. So this is swigo.gg, this is where we go for recommendations for mod types, Zetas, all sorts of stuff. It's a massively utilised tool and it's great work to really help, which I'll just briefly go into these tabs here. So this is my first ever account. I'm at 3.5 million, and I'm not doing too great on it because I've done a lot of just 7-star characters and just wasting gear and unfinished farms all over the place. If I could do sort by mod speed, Basilisca Shan is my fastest character. So she's gear 12, and then she's sitting at 211 speed. So 211 speed. This is from an account that I didn't really know, so basically pulled back all the mods and restarted again. It's the fastest character. Now if I go back to this account, my YouTube account, by mod speed, BB8's the fastest mod speed, fastest character at 238 speed. So an account that's just over a year old, coming up for a year and a half old, and then an account that's 25 weeks old, there's a total difference in terms of speed. So nobody expects people to, or shouldn't expect people to just come into the game, pick up the modding and be fine and get the best mods and know exactly what they're doing. That's certainly not the case. And it's okay to make mistakes. It's just use these tools to help you improve your characters. Otherwise, you're going to struggle on journey guide stuff and you're going to struggle in JAC. So on to JAC. In this website, you don't only have your profile, you have your JAC history. So it shows you who you fight and what you done and did you lose, what did you use. So if I go back to the 3v3, not 3v3, the 5v5, and just to show, no, it's not that one, this one. So even though I lost it, I won it and I used Java, so that's forever on my record. So we novelty like that, and so you could do that, but you could also check their profile. So this person's characters are here. Supreme Leader Kylo. I mean, you might know, I've not modded Galactic Legends yet, but he's missing out health for some reason. Instead, he's put four speed mods, 5 speed mods and 1 health mod. But he would have beat us if he played, but he never played. So that's the one tool you could use. You could also do this one up the top, JAC at the top, to find counters. So if we go into counters and we go for, I don't know, let's go for GL Ray because we're going to be getting her. And then this is a team composition, and then this is the teams that have a 96% chance at winning, 93%, and then you could do exclude Galactic Legends, so what teams can beat us without Galactic Legends. So you've got a Palpatine team with Starkiller, Rey and Juhani, and then you go down and it shows you all the different sort of compositions you could use there. So that's a way to know what counters what. If we go back to here, another good thing to look at is you've got your ships and it tells you all that, but gear needed. So it's telling me that I need 46 of these are needed by the characters I currently have. So that's okay for an overview. But if I'm looking for Galactic Legends stuff and I'm doing Rey, I know I need a maximum amount of 1820 carbonite circuit boards, so then I can check how much I have of them, and same going down here. So that's just an overall view of what we need. I use this mainly for this stuff to build up the circuit boards and wiring, etc. But then even more in depth, you could go to back up to here and do characters, and we're going to be gearing up resistance hero Finn. So we come in here and we go to gear levels, and it gives you a breakdown of all the gear that you're going to need. Let's not do resistance hero Finn, let's do just Finn. So we're doing Finn and we're trying to relic him. So we do full gear list, tells us everything we need, but then we do gear levels, which tells us each level. So gear 12 to 13, that's what we need. So we're gearing up Finn and Rey. So what I would do here is go into units again and go Rey, and then relic full gear, gear levels 12, and then just compare it. So Finn needs armor plating, tech visor and multi-tool. Rey needs medpack, cybernetics and bayonet. So these are two separate things, gear slots that you could basically put on at the same time and fire them up. So you know if you use the bayonets, then that's fine. They're not going to affect Finn because he's not needing the bayonets. And that's how to work that. And then this 3-step set is what you need that you get from ship energy in copious amounts. So that's another lookout on that. And then if we go to just one last thing, characters, when you're relicing them or you're just leveling them up, gearing them up, it will tell you what gears needed. So you can find it there, see what slots are available. This is my character as well, it's not any other character. And you can go to bayonet, and it's used by all these different characters. And to break that down even further, you go back into your profile, Galactic Legends gear needed, and then you can go scroll down till you find it. So we need stun guns. What characters need stun guns? At gear 12, so all these characters do. Main one being Chewie, but nobody else that we're doing needs it. It says there one for current level. None of the characters need the tactical data, so we know we could use that for scrapping. Cybernetics, nobody's needing cybernetics for their current level, but 3 are needing fusion furnaces, and it will give you a green dot on the 3 that need it. So you could plan ahead your farms knowing that you're going to gear up the characters and build it up from there. So we'll just switch back over to the game. And lay out what we're going to do for over the next week. So the raids close on the 27th, therefore on the 25th I'm going to close off the raids for our guild, apart from maybe pit raid, just so that we don't start a raid and then it doesn't get rewarded because the blackout for raids. And then a week on from there we should have our new raid, and then we'll know what's what. So that's the plan for next week in terms of the guild stuff. We're plodding along on the territory battle. and then in terms of farming, we'll finish off BB8, and then we'll move this team into the GAC ready bit, and then we'll start focusing more on leveling up these characters, probably in the following order. Bounty Hunters, followed by Ships, followed by Tuscans, unless the ships start getting really close, and then we'll just do them. So between these two, farming and gearing, up to gear 11 or 12 depending on how many stars we've got. And that's the gearing plan. The farming plan is ships, still the same as the last several weeks. Ships until we get all these ones to 7 stars. So hopefully by next week we'll have 6-star Ray, 6-star Poe, almost 6-star Houndstooth and Ebonhawk, and well on our way for a 7-star Lando's Millennium, and then 20 shards on Radis. That's the plan. So thank you for all that join in, comment, like and subscribe. This isn't just going to be a Swigo channel, it is a gaming channel. Therefore, I've got 2 new series coming out in the coming weeks. Starting next Friday, which will air on. It will get uploaded on Saturday. So the 29th will be the first episode of Jedi Survivor. Blind playthrough that will be recording as I play it, for very little talking, more just gameplay. So that will come up on Saturday, and then the 10th of May, Lord of the Rings Heroes of Middle Earth drops, which is the same style game as this, made by the same company but just Lord of the Rings. I'll start putting that out, and that should drop out every Friday. I'll upload my roster review, roster details, etc. on that. Again, it will all be free to play, and we'll just have a laugh and see where we go with that. Make all the mistakes that we can make whilst we play it totally blind, not knowing where things are going. I played the game before release, but not by much, just got a feel for the game. So 3 series will be running on this channel. None of the other 2 series will take away from this. This is the long term game that I'll be uploading every week. The other games are secondary. So on that note, drop a like, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think. Let me know your thoughts on modding and your thoughts on where I'm going with the Ray's journey. And I'll catch you on the next one.